Welcome back, everybody, to the St. Louis Cardinals franchise. We kick off today's episode with a couple roster moves. I really enjoy giving some younger players a chance to make an impact, but I do want to make a change here on our bench. We're going to send down outfielder Norris Sullivan, the second ever draft pick of the series. He hasn't played a lot, but he hasn't been all that great in the chances he's gotten. I'm sure he'll be back at some point, but it's time to give somebody else an opportunity. I debated between two players, and ultimately we will bring up Chris Rotundo to the big league roster to make his debut. Rotundo has very high potential and is 26. If he's to even come close to that potential, he needs to play. This is an upside move. We're going to add him to the bench instead of left fielder Will Brennan, whose numbers are better, but he's basically a maxed out player. He has lower potential, he is older. I want to see Rotundo have even that slim chance of breaking out. The next thing we have to address is the bullpen. We have not been as good here as I hoped, and we're going to be making a move to replace the struggling Andre Pallante, who's running out of chances with us. In 11 1/3 innings this year, he's given up 11 walks and 3 home runs. And that means we have our first trade of the season. Now, this isn't a flashy trade. We're going to be sending Robert Perez Jr. to the Marlins for relief pitcher Anthony Bender, a 31-year-old who will become a free agent pretty soon. But he's been pretty solid the last few years. He closed one season for the Marlins. And we'll see if this helps solidify our bullpen a bit. Perez is 25 years old and behind a bunch of other outfielders right now, so he is the player we move to make this deal. But if we need to end up making another trade at some point, I think our best players that I would be willing to part ways with would be Cooper Jerpy, a left-handed starting pitcher who could play for some teams right now. He'd crack a top 5 in, say, Oakland or with the White Sox. And then also Michael McGreevy. McGreevy is 25 years old, 70 overall, and doesn't have a very good path to playing time in our organization, so he's likely to be traded at some point. But I think trading Jerpy is going to be a higher priority because he's already on the 40-man roster, and we've spent 2 of his 3 options. Whereas McGreevy is not on the 40-man yet, but I imagine he's Rule 5 eligible at the end of the year. Here in today's episode, we begin a long stretch of division games. Nearly the entire next month is going to be up against the teams in the NL Central. I'm looking forward to it. The standings are very tight, and every team is above 500 currently. In 54 games this year, only 4 of those have come in division. There is no team in baseball that's faced their division opponents less than us. So let's get it going here. We got the first game against the Brewers, and a 5-2 win is how we start. I'm keeping an eye on these Tink Hence games because he's been one of our best overall players the first 2 months of the year, and he just keeps going 6 and 7 innings, having excellent starts. Good to see Jordan Walker get a home run, and the Cardinals make it 2 consecutive wins. We just walked them off. I'm not sure if it was Jordan Walker or Joey Loperfido getting the walk-off win, but Anthony Bender records his first win as a Card. Colorado has actually claimed Andre Pallante off of waivers. We have a chance to revoke this, but I believe we'd have to add him back to the Major League roster, and we're not going to be doing that. So Pallante is now off to the Rockies. We've had a couple players in this series that were household names in my A's franchise, and now Dylan Carlson and Andre Pallante find themselves in new homes. Speaking of Carlson, by the way, here's an update on how his season's been going. With the Mariners, he signed a 1-year, $4 million contract, and he's actually played pretty darn well this year. His slugging is way up, more than he's had in any recent year with the Cardinals, and already with 5 home runs, it looks like he has a chance at least matching his early career high of 18. So right now that's working out for him, and we'll see if Pallante has success with the Rockies Does kind of hurt to not have him work out because I like his curveball and slider a lot, but he just wasn't playing well. So you got to move on. We wrap up a series win against the Brewers and against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Nolan Gorman is healthy again, celebrating with a 2-home run day as we pound Pittsburgh in the first 2. Sonny Gray goes 8 innings, and we've been getting some really good starts out of our rotation recently. 4 homers in this win in Pittsburgh. Cortez picks up win number 6. And let's scout. This is session number 9. Juan Cardenas now 113 on the board, and Gustavo Campillo 77. We'll call it good on those guys. We already scouted Felipe Ramirez fully, and he looks really good. 14 on our board, not ranked on the MLB. And we're looking at 82 to 94 potential with him. Very impressive. We should be able to wrap up these other starting pitchers today, I'd imagine, if we go through 2 sessions. And we have options that could be available in the first round, and hopefully a few more that could also be mid-round picks. One thing I wanted to make sure we did, though, today was take a little look at least at a few catchers. I'm thinking more in the later rounds, so more 100 and down on the board. The potential range here is just too good to pass up. We have David Diaz, 74 to 93, and that's with 4 years of college experience. We can get 90% in 1 week and not even use our best scout. I'm going to keep chasing these favorable potential ranges, and this is Brian Kovalenko, 78 to 97 potential. I have a feeling it'll come in a lot closer to 78 than 97. That was a really good week for us. We managed to go from tied to up 3.5 on the Reds. We had a good series against Milwaukee, off to a good start against Pittsburgh, and Blake Snell. That's right, they added Blake Snell, and the Pirates do manage to salvage the series, taking the finale. Tink Hence has his first rough outing in a while. I want to focus on the division games, so we're skipping past this San Francisco series where they take 2 or 3. Pittsburgh is on the schedule again, and we take the first game 5-3, and then drop the next one 10-3, and that's Tink Hence now with back-to-back games where he doesn't pitch all that well. 7 runs allowed and nearly a full point added to his ERA. They had a home run derby, it looks like, in this game. We have 3 pitchers in cold streaks and 2 in hot streaks. Let's go with Dylan Cease against the Pirates. I've been very intrigued with the way the Pirates have been building in this series. Very active in free agency, spending a lot of money to bring in Juan Soto, Pete Alonso, and Blake Snell. Meanwhile, our big money contract went to Dylan Cease, who's been very strong this year. Might not be in contention for the Cy Young with the last couple weeks going cold on him, but might end up getting back there at some point. Let's get it underway. First inning, and off we go with a slider at the knees. 38 and 27. Right now, we're the team to beat. But I want to get familiar with everybody in our division to see how they're building, how they're playing, and get to know your enemy a little bit better. 0-2 on Triolo. Got him! That just disappeared through his bat. We've also picked up Bryce Terang, who's hitting .216. 0-2, and there goes the chance at an immaculate inning. Thanks, Bryce. And it's gotten the second strikeout as well. Circle change at the knees. And this guy's pretty good, I hear. Juan Soto hitting third. I'm guessing it's Alonso behind him, and that's speared by Walker. Very good first inning for Dylan Cease. And we got Victor Scott leading off because we're facing a lefty in Blake Snell. And he's still getting a lot of strikeouts, 27.7%. But the whip at 1.5 is in our favor, 4.3 ERA. But we haven't had too many big games lately offensively. See if we can have a better day here. We got Scott at 281. So 2 months in, The success still sustaining. And Snell attacks inside to get ahead 0-2. And got him looking on a low fastball. Looked at a lot of strike 3 calls in the last episode. I tend to be pretty patient even with 2 strikes. Donovan retired on 1 pitch. But here's the lineup today as Arenado gets the day off, and we give Chris Rotundo his first ever start in the 9th spot as the DH. And here's Jordan Walker, who's been turning the season around this last handful of games. Up to a .266 average with 8 homers. Was a pretty cold start the first 4 to 6 weeks. Fouled back, a high fastball, best pitch to hit so far. Getting ahead is Walker. There are the standings again down below in this clustered Central. 3-1, and a walk to Walker. Contreras, though, still hasn't really turned his season around the same way he did the last couple. And that looks to end the inning. Both pitchers get through it cleanly. 16 home runs for Pete Alonso and a chance at being an all-star with the Pirates. Hitting .284. It's a 1-2 count on Alonso, and that's strike 3. The 3rd time with a circle change. We're just going to stick with what works. And O'Neill Cruz hitting 5th. I like this lineup a lot. Soto, Alonso, O'Neill Cruz. Pretty similar numbers to Pete Alonso, 15 home runs. They got 3 guys that could hit 40-plus homers. And they still, I think, have guys like Brian Reynolds. So I've been expecting as Cruz lines one off the chalk. And will try, no, he will hold. I've been waiting for this team to pop in this series. The moves have just been too good. The lineup's pretty deep. Maybe it's the pitching that's still lacking for them. Let's take a look at their numbers on the year. They got Bailey Fulter at 71 overall, Roansy Contreras. But as far as starters go, let's just sort by innings pitched. Mitch Keller having a good year. Johan Oviedo, not so much. Paul Skeens, Blake Snell, kind of in the middle somewhere. That's probably what's holding them back the most, because most of their position players are producing well. Brian Reynolds just had his 500th career RBI, as the ticker said down below. And taking off, Cruz is out at second base. You make plays like that, we can handle a lower average for you. And that's a tough guy to throw out, too. Reynolds replaces Cruz on first base. By Sawinski at 96. And popped up for Brendan Donovan, playing the hot corner today. Had an error there last episode, so we'll keep an eye on his defense as we dive into the bottom of the second. Lars Nootbaar. We got to get some road games going soon. I feel like we've played so much at home recently for episodes. I'm trying to get some different pitchers and different opponents. I wanted Sonny Gray, but his rotation spots have not come against the right teams. And his next one is against the Twins. If we have time today, we may get to his start as well. 0-2. That is awkwardly knuckled up the middle at 64 off the bat for an out. 15. That's how many homers Nolan Gorman has, and that should lead the Cardinals right now. And it does, with Arenado one behind him and Contreras and Nootbaar clearing the double-digit mark. Up the middle, Snell ducked in time, and it's a base hit. And then the bottom of the order, Mason Wynn. 326 average. Could we be looking at the future shortstop? Well, the shortstop of the future, I mean. In Mason Wynn. And struck him out. 96 on the heater. He's been throwing a fastball I should be able to do a lot more with. Just kind of attacking and daring us to hit it. Man, I'm swinging at so many circle changes low lately. Cannot lay off. Turned on by Thomas, and it's lifted down the line and tracked down to finish the second. You know, I forgot about this at the start of the episode, but when we played the Diamondbacks last episode, I was looking at them with Bo Bichette and their shortstop prospects, Jordan Lawler and Tommy Troy. I think I want to look at these CPU teams and start to move guys to positions where they can at least get playing time as starters. Because the CPU doesn't really do a good job of that, of just playing a guy and starting him at a secondary position. I think I want to move Troy to third base because that's one of his listed secondary positions. And he could start for them over Max Muncy. I'm sure there are plenty of teams that have a prospect that could easily get playing time if they were just playing a secondary position instead of primary. Overall, I think that'd be better for the series if I went and edited that kind of thing. Big cut by Henry Davis. Let's see, it's got 3 already. That is not number 4, not quite yet. Let's challenge him a bit differently now. Not chasing. The 2-2, way outside. We're going to attack him here with a fastball at 3-2. Too high from Cease. Davis has pretty good speed, and that's going to get past Gorman into right. So they do a good job of setting the table, but Terang's hitting second. They got way too many good bats to have Terang ahead of Soto, Alonso, Reynolds, and Cruz. I'd go probably Soto next, or Reynolds. Probably Brian Reynolds high on base. Soto even higher on base, so if you want Soto second or third, doesn't matter, ain't my lineup. Low to Terang. That one is popped up, thankfully. We got lucky on it. And Contreras makes the catch. And now can we get past Soto cleanly? A slider inside. Behind him is Alonso, so that's adequate lineup protection. 95 and in there. That is towards the dugout. Can Walker make the catch? Not enough room. 2-2, and it's softly tapped up the middle, and Mason Wynn handles the final out. So today we're giving an opportunity to the young Chris Rotundo. I'm starting to change up my approach with some of these prospects, especially when they hit about 26. Rotundo sends one to left center. That's given a ride, and that ball is out of here! On the first pitch, Rotundo blasts away for number 1. That didn't seem to be a bad fastball or anything. It was low. But I want to give guys a chance when they're 25, 26, 27. It's the only shot they're going to have to realize the potential. They're not getting there at AA or AAA. So welcome to the Chris Rotundo Show. And a little silent treatment for the rookie as we go up 1-0. So I had all these ABs with Victor Scott, never hit a home run. I've seen one pitch with Chris Rotundo, and we have a long ball. By the way, Victor Scott, 2 homers on the season now. What do we think he has this year? I'm going to guess 7. I'm saying he'll get a couple more here in the summer. Ball flies out a bit more. Maybe a road trip in Colorado or something helps. I'm also going to make a call here. An inside the park homer at some point this season. We're going to play it. Even if I have to put us at Polo Grounds for a day, we're going to get it done. A walk to Scott. You know, I've actually thought about doing like fun one-off episodes at old ballparks like that. I know Polo Grounds could skew a couple numbers, but for one game, hey, come on, it'd be a lot of fun. I haven't played Polo Grounds in a long time. Off the glove, and Scott will advance to second. I remember when I was a kid playing MVP, probably 2004 or 05, and discovering Polo Grounds. And I was just amazed. There was a place you could like never hit a home run to center field. Corners were like 270-ish. It's just weird, man. I love playing at Polo Grounds. And it suits the style of team I'm trying to build, too. Hey, last series we did a game at the Metrodome in Minnesota. Target Field was undergoing some construction or something, I don't know. Unfortunately, US Bank Stadium was on top of the Metrodome. They had to tear that down to rebuild the dome, but we did what we had to do. Popped up by Walker. That one is way up there. Could that fall in? Shallow center and dropping in. Scott races home, and it's a 2-0 St. Louis lead. All right, a little eager to hit that one, and Nootbaar hits with 2 gone. And Snell ends the inning, but we get our first 2. And it was all started by the rookie Chris Rotundo. On we go to the 4th. It's Alonso. And a bouncer to Donovan, handled easily. Out number 1. Just dropping into Cruz. That circle change is still mesmerizing to me. And a weak bouncer to Gorman. Dropping in the curve and ahead of Reynolds. 0-2. That's bounced to Gorman. Nothing leaves the infield, top of the 4th. Nearly hit his kneecap as Gorman gets ahead of Blake Snell. 44 pitches in. So far, his fastball, I've been hitting it a lot better. The off speed is giving me trouble, but he's throwing enough fastballs to where I have a lot I like to swing at. And got him on the outside edge. Hey, I didn't swing at a changeup. Probably wondering if my controller died, and I tried. That's to right field, and win. No, it's run down. Hammered to right center. Sawinski back and gone into the bullpen. Pittsburgh is on the board as the slider just got crushed. Where'd that one end up? Well, definitely some elevation on it. First big miss so far for Dylan Cease. Brian Hayes is hitting 8th. Donovan is there, makes a tough throw in time to get Hayes. We haven't gotten a strikeout here in a little bit. The 2 strike pitches just haven't been quite good enough. Davis down 0-2, and again missing outside by a foot. And a piece of it. We'll take these ground outs as well. If you're enjoying the video and wouldn't mind hitting that thumbs up, I'd much appreciate it. And if you are new to the channel and haven't done so, hit that subscribe button for more Cardinals franchise. Was going through the episodes lately and just looking at how often they've been coming out, and it's still not to where I want it to be. So I'm looking to get at least 3 of these a week out is my goal. That's chop foul. To me, the prime time to be doing this baseball content is up until September at some point, and I want to be able to get as much accomplished before then. Last year, I didn't really... Oh, nice strikeout by Cease. Last year, I don't think I didn't really transition the content from baseball to football really until the Super Bowl, and I'm hoping to do a lot more with football here coming up, especially with college football coming out. So until then, whole lot of Cardinals baseball. And Chris Rotundo is back for his second AB. Takes a pitch low. 19th round pick in 2022. He's under this one. It won't travel nearly as far as his first hit. Putting down the bunt is Victor Scott. It's a great one. He reaches. Snell, a lefty. And on the first pitch, he goes. In there is Victor Scott. And now Donovan trying to bring him around. And late at 96. Popped him up. Just wide of third base. And Jordan Walker now taking low. 22 stolen bases on the year for Victor Scott with 2 caught stealing. Hammered to left. Given a ride by Walker. It is back and gone. Is that a third deck homer? Jordan Walker makes it 4-0 on his 9th of the season. 2 homers on the day for the Cardinals and a rough outing for Blake Snell facing these righties. He really gets under this one. And that one is way up there. That's into the 3rd row of this 3rd deck. That one's completely shaded. Interesting. And there's action in the bullpen, but it's a pair of lefties. So good news for our lefty mashers. And Snell picks up the strikeout. But we get the damage done again with a 2-run shot. And it's a solid day through 5 for the Cardinals. Dylan Cease now, 71 pitches in. I think we should get a lefty up. And that's going to be Liberator. And I'd also like to get Anthony Bender ready today. 3rd trip through the order now for Pittsburgh. And Terang sends one to right center, and he can fly. Victor Scott tracks it down. Terang, he wants 3 and should have it. Got there easily. Soto bounces one and will get the out. Man, I wonder if we could have gotten him there at home. He got to that fast. But it's a 2-run game. In a 3-run game, I'm thinking more just get the out. But also with a guy at 95 speed, I'm also just not really thinking of going home there. 2 strikes on Alonso. And the curveball or the changeup dives down. The count goes full. Inside at 97. Didn't miss by much. 3 walks for Dylan Cease. And that brings up O'Neal Cruz. Hung the changeup, and we just got away with it. Could have tied the game. And now Brian Reynolds in what could be the last batter for Cease. 83 pitches. Not quite as sharp in this game. He's walked a few. Reynolds hits one down the line, and this indent here should stop it. Reynolds wants second, and will get there. So now 2 on, 2 down, and the Pirates will bring Jack Sowinski to the plate, who already has a home run today. The splits on him, yeah, he likes hitting righties. We're going to make a move here with lefty Matthew Liberatore. 14th appearance of the year. We have a lot of good lefties in the bullpen. We've got to find who our mainstay righties are going to be. Won't be Palante. And got him reaching on one. Liberatore cleans it up in the 6th. Bailey Falter coming out now for the Pirates. Both teams into their bullpens, and here is Lars Nootbaar. That's down the line in left, and a fair ball for Nootbaar. And he will hustle his way into second base with a leadoff double. And here's Nolan Gorman, who has 3 homers against the Pirates this year. I've never seen this graphic appear. I like that. More. That's what I want from these sports games, just more TV-like graphics. I've always found that to be one of the most immersive things to see in games. Or like when you look through a box score and they do the graphics up, like it could have been like an ESPN recap, like on SportsCenter or something. You know, NFL 2K5 always had that. Strike 3. Just more in-game stats and information. Some real production value. Goes a long way. I don't know why you did that. 3-1 on Mason Wynn with a man on second. And a drive out to left field with Nootbaar bluffing his way to third. Sometimes there what I'm doing is I want to see what the outfielder's momentum is before they make the throw. Because if they can plant and throw from a strong base, then it's going to be a better throw. But if they have to catch it on the move, and like their momentum carries them a few extra steps, then it's going to be more time and an easier chance of getting that extra base. They'll intentionally walk Lane Thomas to face the rookie Chris Rotundo. And back in the 3rd inning, we know what he did. Rotundo behind. Outside, and a full count. Victor Scott is on deck. Got him with a big 12-6 curve. Out of the inning, and still a 2-run game as we go into the 7th with our newest reliever, Anthony Bender, coming into the game. He and Kopech are asked to be our primary middle relief righties this year. So, I know we faced Bender recently. I think he might have had a good outing against me when I wasn't hitting that well. That might have been in the Yuri Perez game. And I didn't do much after facing Perez. 2 strikes on Ke'Bryan Hayes. But with Bender, you're going to get a lot of velo. He can touch triple digits. And then a slider and circle change off of that fastball while also throwing a sinker. In the air to right. Nootbaar on the run. Makes the catch. So at least we swapped out a righty with filthy movement for another righty with filthy movement and triple-digit fastball. Softly to left field. That's Lane Thomas. Base hit to right field, though. That's Triolo getting aboard. And Bryce Terang. Let's see if we can end things before getting to Soto and company. Oh, I didn't realize he was taken off. And we still got him on the delayed throw to second base. Wilson Contreras has caught 2 base running thieves today. Great game for him. Jose Hernandez, another lefty coming out for the Bucks. Thought about making it a 2-home run day there for Walker, but fouled it back. Base hit left field. Jordan Walker starting to heat up this season. And Wilson Contreras continues his big day. It's a 2-run shot to left field. 2 runners caught stealing and a home run. It is 6-2 St. Louis. We have a pair of 2-out, 2-run home runs in this game. All of our runs supplied via the long ball. Actually, that's not true. Scott scored on a conventional play. But 6-2 Cards. One thing I noticed, and I want to do soon, maybe sometime this week, I didn't realize I have not streamed on this channel in over a year. Last year, I did some streams early in the A's franchise, and I'm interested in doing some Cardinals franchise streams. You know, I can only play so many games to move at a good pace and get through seasons, but a live stream is a fun way to spend a couple hours, strike 3, getting some more games played, doing some more interaction. It doesn't have to, be like a mandatory episode, but just a chance to see the players more and hang out. The streams are always fun, and I just haven't been doing them much outside of main channel off seasons. So if you'd like to see some Cards streams, let me know. Matt Moore is going to pitch here in the 8th inning. We got our best lefty to face their best lefties, and then, of course, Alonso. Popped up by Terang. Lane Thomas is under for the out. Falling behind Soto. Not one to chase those. And 3-0. Well, that wasn't how I anticipated this at-bat going. So Alonso has a chance to get the Pirates back in this game. First pitch change. I'm not sure we need to throw him a fastball. But we do need to throw a strike. There's one. I'll give him one fastball here. And it's a grounder to Gorman. On to the bottom of the 8th we go. Eric Swanson is in as we'll face a righty. Nolan Gorman is 1 for 3 with a line drive single. I wanted that one. Hey, I took one close and it went my way. Hitless, though, is Mason Wynn. Still hitting over 300 with no homers quite yet. I'm noticing with his hot and cold zones, he does not like pitches low. Really got to wait for elevation with him. I don't take enough time to really get to know the hot and cold zones for these players. I'm sure it matters to a degree. The count is 3-2. And that is ball 4. Lane Thomas. He's hitless today. That is strike 3. That's okay. 2 on, nobody down. What do I want to do with that pitch anyway? Give me Chris Rotundo. That's a line out. That's short. And Victor Scott will hit one more time. Center field. And it is caught as we head to the ninth. Michael Kopech's numbers are looking pretty solid. What's his whip? It doesn't tell you on this screen? Okay. But a good strikeout rate. This move turning into a pretty important one for us with the failure of developing Andre Palante further, with the regression of Ryan Fernandez. Why not? That was a 102, but like a two-hopper to short. I'm not sure I've really seen too many 102s with that like high ground ball launch angle. Because like to hit the ball that way, wouldn't you need to be way on top of it and not really hitting it that square? O'Neal Cruz is just that strong. Big swing and miss from Brian Reynolds. And a strikeout. We haven't had too many strikeouts today, it seems. We're having to play some defense. And St. Louis, 1 out away. And it's bounced to the right side, and that's a solid win for St. Louis. 3 home runs power us forward for a win. Dylan Cease has a solid outing. Could have been better, could have been worse. That was a more refreshing game, just a good team victory. We still struck out 9 times. I've had a lot of strikeouts lately, many looking. They're throwing really good 2-strike pitches on the corner. I tend to let those go. I think they're balls most of the time, but if we have days like this, I'm all right with it. We only picked up 5 strikeouts, actually. We have fully scouted David Diaz, a catcher prospect, and the potential is 79 to 89. He is a high-contact, lower-power catcher with a very strong arm. I'm very intrigued with him. Brian Kovalenko. I'm probably not going to fully scout him, but 150 on the board and a similar high potential range. Just probably a very low overall, and being at 22, he might not really have a chance until he's 26, 27 years old. So I'm a little more intrigued with Diaz. We'll do one more session of scouting the international pitchers. We're also going to make a scouting change here. I'd actually like to swap out our 3rd scout for somebody that can do a little bit more scouting pitchers. There were a couple starting pitchers I wanted more information on, so we're going to focus on Rolando Calderon, who we can scout fully in 2 weeks. And one more player I'm going to add to our scouting board is center fielder Chad Prince, who's one of the better defensive prospects that I've seen. He's a 2-year junior college player, and I have a lot of interest in that skill set. Wrapping up our series against the Pirates, Lars Nootbaar pulls a muscle. That'll be a few days he'll have to miss. We end up splitting the series with Pittsburgh. Just not enough offense after the 3 home runs the day prior. The Guardians now call us up and say we have a trade for you. Logan Allen for Steve Padilla. That's not something I'm interested in. We have enough pitchers to take over roles, and I want Padilla. We got time for one more game today, I think. How about Sonny Gray against the Twins? We haven't talked about Sonny much. Oh, no wonder they wanted Padilla. Look what he did in May. He hit .378. Anyway, Sonny Gray's having a good year once again, but he is regressing, and he's in the last year of his deal. He's probably not going to be on our team next year, but he's still holding down a spot in the rotation very well. His numbers are very similar to what he's done in recent years. The Twins are 44-22. This is going to be a tough lineup, I think, for Sonny to face. Oh no, Royce Lewis. And they've won 11 straight. Oh my God, this is like looking at the NL West standings most of the time. Go Twins. 14th start for Sonny Gray. 113 whip, 20% strikeout rate. Sometimes the overall and stuff just isn't as important. I'd say it's less important in this game than the other sports games that I'm familiar with. One pitch and one out of Trevor Larnach, and now Carlos Correa. A battle of two first-place teams in the Central. And a matchup of the two teams from the '87 World Series. Caught. But here is Royce Lewis. Do we just intentionally walk him? It's probably the safest thing to do. Royce Lewis joined us for a year in the A's franchise as a bench super utility player, and he was really bad. That was disappointing. Lewis, 0-2. And strike three. Great first inning for Sonny Gray. Ooh, the numbers on Eddie Julian are nice. 308, hitting homers as well. Kind of hopeful of this Twins young core they have. I like a lot of the prospects they've been developing, Julian included. Julian swings and misses, and he's one of those guys you have to attack in the zone. He has an elite eye at the plate. And takes low, ball 4. I'm actually very curious what his discipline is in here. I'm pretty sure it's extremely high. Yep, 91. Next, it's Ryan Jeffers hitting .330. Doing his best Joe Mauer impression. Weekly hit. Out there. Double play. Top 3 and leading things off is Byron Buxton. Sonny Gray missing high. And not somebody you want to walk. And that brings up Matt Wallner. And Gray having some trouble finding the strike zone. A lot of 2-0 counts. Good sinker. Trying to get Wallner to bounce into a double play. Come on, ump. Got strike 2. And now the payoff pitch is lined and through. Buxton stops at second. And here's Rhys Hoskins. Must be their new DH. Hoskins bounces. That's a chance for 2. And easily turning the double play. Larnach skies it to center. Retreating is Victor Scott. And that's a 0. Sharply through the middle, Carlos Correa. That's 113 off the bat. Hitting like he is in real life right now. And you got to be careful pitching to this guy. Good slurve into Lewis. He struck him out. Sonny Gray's in pretty good form right now. Numbers are strong, and despite the regression, he's pitching like a top of the rotation arm. Jeffers hits one foul. And takes the slurve right down the middle. 3 straight singles, and we still don't score in the 4th inning. All right, then. Another pitcher's duel with Sonny Gray and Pablo Lopez. What a pitch for strike 3. We have a lot of good pitchers in this organization, but only 5 guys can be in the big league rotation. Who's going to lose their spot? I feel like nothing's going to really happen until next year. I mean, there's always a chance Gray has a bad second half of the year or something. But right now, gotta love the way he's throwing. As Buxton lifts one deep to left field. And it's out of here. A home run. Just got up and over. Wallner now unloads to right field. The Twins have back-to-back homers. And that one just traveled 415 down the line. Well, we went from dominating to giving up back-to-back home runs. Trying to settle it back down against Hoskins. Got on top of that one and back on track. Sonny's going to take care of that one himself. Correa hits it hard again and has his second hit. Sonny Gray getting the 6th inning. We'll see if we can make it through. Pitch count's not a problem. Some of these swings have been. Clipping the inside edge and ahead of Lewis. Got him looking. That's gloved, and applying the tag is Walker. Double play. But we're just getting nothing done against Pablo Lopez. 3-run homer for Rhys Hoskins. That comes off of Hunter Harvey. 2-run homer for Royce Lewis. Can't have a game without him going yard. 2-run homer Ramon Urias. Just get me to the end. Remember when this was a close pitchers duel? And then all of a sudden there were 18 combined runs and we lost 13-5? Weird. We scored 5 off Pablo Lopez and they all came in the 8th inning. I think Brendan Donovan had a grand slam. That's ugly for our bullpen right there. Helsley's ERA. No, don't look. Don't look at that. Why would he even pitch in this type of game? 5.7? 3 blown saves, 17 saves, 3 homers in 22 innings. I don't think we should panic. I'm not panicking. I'm calm. I'm collected. I'm good. We're bumping up Anthony Bender, though, because Harvey's just not getting it done. Here's a stat update at the end of the episode. Gorman, 15 home runs. Arenado, 14. Contreras, 12. Nootbaar, 11. For OPS, we got Ivan Herrera coming off the bench, doing a great job. Lars Nootbaar, Brendan Donovan, Chris Rotundo. That's in 12 at-bats. But already getting development, just being on the big league roster. At AAA, you've got so many pitchers. I swear my batteries only go to halfway now or something on these controllers. This is the only thing I've played today. Roby and Castilla, along with Lesko, are all pitching really well down at AAA. And Benny Matsumoto has a 3.5 ERA down at the AA level. Still waiting for the strikeout numbers to pop up, and we're going to spend the next couple years mostly waiting patiently for him. Steve Padilla's been having a really good year. He'd be a guy to focus on here in an episode sometime soon. 68 overall. Way beyond most 18-year-old prospects, but defense is a work in progress. Joe Adell, 9 homers. Brennan, 8. And then our Elvis Martinez has 7. Slugging for him is still below average. We are seeing mostly good development this year in his age 24 season. And next episode, possibly, we could see Daryl Moreno come off the injured list and get back into action. Well, that is going to do it for our time today, everybody. Thank you for watching and supporting the franchise. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. More Cardinals franchise coming your way soon. Have a great day.